class today. Welcome to all participants and our lecturer today. Thank you. Let's introduce our first presenter first is Dr. Masri Abdul, Lasi, as the Dean Faculty of Business Management with the topic Sustainability and Ethical Marketing in the Current Age. And thank you for all participants for joining in this class today. And today's session is being live streamed on Universitas STEKOM YouTube channel. And I will read our agenda first. Today's session, we will start with the class presentation by Dr. Masri Abdul Lasi and continue with the Q&A session, time for picture and the closing. Okay, we will start for this class today, delivered by Dr. Masri Abdul Lasi from City University, Malaysia. For Dr. Masri, you can start this class. Thank you.
All right, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon, everyone. So of course, salam satu Indonesia and salam satu Malaysia. All right, so before we start, I would like to, let me share my screen first, on my slide so that we can start on the discussing our topic today, Hold on. So I do believe that you guys can see my screen. You guys can see my screen or not? No, still not.
Still
All right,
not.
okay. Still cannot.
Still no. Maybe you can share your PowerPoint in the room chat, and from our we will help with the share screen.
So you are going to project them, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. You know what happened to the system today? I don't. Sorry about this. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Faiz, bantu share screen. Dikirim di file Zoom chat.
Okay, I have shared the file in the system in the chatbot.
Udah, yes. You just moment, please.
All right, okay.
Yeah, you can start.
All right, okay, so let me start today. Okay, so today we are going to discuss on the most interesting topic, which is discussing about the shaping tomorrow, sustainable and ethical marketing. So before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Masri Abdul Lasi. I'm representing Faculty of Business Management, City University, Malaysia. So my subject expertise is more on marketing, My undergrad is in marketing, my master in marketing, and also my PhD as well in marketing. So yeah, people could say that I am my subject expertise will be on marketing. So the marketing will be focusing on the e-marketing, digital marketing, and of course sustainable marketing. So of course, each of us, when we are talking about marketing, people might be think of selling, people might be think of research, and people might be think on the innovation. Of course, marketing is discussing about how we are managing our products and how are we going to making sure our product in the market meet the requirement and meet the demand of our audience. Okay, so maybe we can do the next one. Okay, so of course, before we proceed, can you please next, or can I control all right, okay. So I think okay. So before we proceed, I would like to share this one. Okay, one of the professors that quoting this part. Okay, when we are discussing about marketing, okay, if you notice number one, okay, you see gorgeous girl in the party and you go to her and say, I am rich and marry me. So it could be direct marketing, which is you are direct approaching the girl. So you're approaching them. So it could consider on the direct marketing. Same goes to number two. You attend a party and your friend goes to a girl and point at you and telling her he is very rich, marry him. So this one, most of the guy mostly like of this kind of coach. Okay, so this is the advertising. So we are telling people that we are rich. So this one is we call as the advertising. Same goes number three. Girl walks to you and say you are rich. Can you marry me? So that one is the brand recognition. People recognize you. Okay, this is how we can relate this situation into the marketing. Same goes to number four. You say I am very rich, marry me, and she slaps you. That customer feedback. So customer will feedback. Most of in marketing, feedback from customer is very important. When they are not satisfied in your product, so of course they will lacking on your customer loyalty. So this is on the customer feedback. Okay, number five, you say I am very rich, marry me, and she introduces you to her husband. So this is demand and supply gaps. Okay, and number six, before you say I am rich, marry me, your wife arrives. That the restriction from the entering new market. So this is situation will be talking about marketing. If you notice, I do believe that guys that we have aware this kind of thing, which is in marketing we have to have direct marketing, we have to do the advertising, and of course when we are having our product, we have to making sure our product recognized by our customer. And also once our product recognized by our customer, there will be customer feedback. Okay, same goes to the demand and supply. If there is a demand in the market, so must be a supply. Same goes to the when you are doing marketing and people not going to accept your product. So this is the restriction from entering the new market. So this is just a startup of today. So maybe we can start on the next one. Okay, if you guys notice, maybe next. Okay, next slide. All right, so this is what happening in our current society. Okay, you know that by 23, it is estimated that millennials will be control over 20 trillions in wealth globally. Okay, so meaning to say, okay, most of millennials, I do believe that most of our participant is millennials, right? Okay, and also when you notice on millennials, okay, currently most of them are not going to, they don't want to become a leader. Okay, most of them, they wanted to make a money. They wanted to make a money and also making positive contributions. Okay, and also work with great people, and some more they wanted to get recognized. If you notice, most of our millennials nowadays, okay, they are more active, engaging themselves into the TikToks, right? What else? Social media, okay, TikToks. If you notice, like nowadays, very very powerful when you are telling something, or when we having something to be tell. Of course, people will refer to the TikTok. So this is TikToks nowadays. Most of like our millennials are using TikToks, right? Okay, so this is the global in future, which is 2030, which most of the millennials will having trillion wealth globally. Okay, so next one. So what is sustainable marketing? Of course, each of us, before we discussing in further, we have to understand the sustainable marketing, right? Sustainable marketing is very important, actually. Okay, so sustainable marketing is sustainability and ethical marketing are not confined to any specific region, that global phenomenon. Because around the world, governments, organizations, and also individuals are taking what steps to address pressing issues such as climate change, of course, social inequality, and also environmental degradations. Okay, this effort will be transforming how business operate and how we are consumer making choice. Sustainable marketing will be influence on our government, okay, and also on organization itself, and also the individual as a society. So of course, when it comes to the sustainable marketing, we have to making sure, okay, to understand the issue on our current issue, which is climate change, and also social inequality, and also of course the environmental itself. So it's not only like another part of things, okay. In marketing also we have to think of the sustainable marketing. Okay, so maybe the next one. So this is the sustainable marketing, which is success marketing campaigns. Okay, if you notice, okay, Apple and Google, so Unilever have made sustainability and ethics center of their strategies. And then also they are recognized, the principle are not just for about the planet, they also wanted to provide with the businesses, so meaning to say, okay, the ethicals come with the businesses. Okay, the principle of like Apple, Google, of course, they also are thinking of the sustainability. Okay, and also consumer increasingly, if you notice, most of us are using Apple, right? Okay, so consumer increasingly favor companies that transparent, which is straightforward, and also they're also focusing on environment responsible and also social conscious. Okay, so this is the example that if you notice the picture, okay, showing the successful marketing campaign, which is how they're making sustainable brands, okay, by innovating, by collaborating, and also get behind the scenes, okay, and also they are now focusing on green marketing as well, okay. So, and then the such marketing campaign, of course, when you are doing campaign in your products, of course, you have to making sure you be people centered, okay, which is you have to pay attention to your customer, okay, because at the end of the day, customer will help you to get a profit in your organization, right? Okay, and then of course you have to involve with encouraging the audience participating, and okay, and also involving the cross media, and also to be bold and also to genuine. Okay, the most important, okay, when you are promoting your product, you have to be genuine. Okay, like if you notice most of like marketers nowadays, okay, they are claiming this product is very good, and at the end of the day, when you are using the product, and then the thing that they're claiming are not like as expected. Okay, so this is how successful marketing campaign. Okay, so yeah, the next one, which is we are discussing about the power of ethical marketing. Okay, maybe you can go for next one. Okay, so this is the example of Tom's, okay, how they are doing the ethical marketing, okay, which is the ethical marketing is not just about numbers, it's not about profit, it's not about what you want to achieve in your organization, okay, it's about changing lives. Okay, for example, Tom's, they are doing like when you are purchasing this kind of products, okay, they will contribute something to the child in needs. So when this is also how the power of ethical marketing, okay, some of the organizations are doing, okay, and then also the next one, when we are discussing about Dove, okay, maybe next slide, okay, this one is discussing about Dove, how Dove are doing their marketing campaign, okay, by not discriminating anyone. Okay, so when you if you notice, okay, some of us, like when it comes to the body shaming, people will discriminate, right? And then some of the products, okay, they're focusing on how to become a slim, right? Okay, so this is how the Dove, okay, Dove are doing the ethical marketing, okay. And that actually is Real Beauty campaign, which is they are promoting body positivity and also self-esteem. Okay, so anyone can be beauty. Okay, so we do real care and we do real beauty. So this is how ZAP are doing their campaign in terms of ethical marketing. Okay, and also it's not just a marketing campaign; it's also like the movement that inspire to resonate with consumer. So, like I mentioned just now, ZAP having campaign which is everyone is beauty. Everyone born is a beauty. Okay, so this is one of the ethical marketing. Okay, which is some of the organizations are doing it. Okay, the next one. Okay, because I just having 1 hour, right? So I have to make it fast this today lecture. Okay, so yeah, ethical marketing also by trusting and also aligning a brand and also values. So meaning to say, you have a brand, of course, you have to make sure the values. Okay, you have to produce a good values, so customer will trust in you. Okay, and also consumer will see the company consistently. Okay, advocating for social environmental causes, and also we'll feel like we share of the purpose. Okay, and then when you are having a value, brand value aligned with your company vision and your company statement. Okay, and then the customer will loyal towards your products. Okay, which is more satisfied of your customer, more loyal customer. For example, Coca-Cola that recently on 2021, okay, they come out with consumer where they are reflecting their customer, okay, on 2022, which is they're reflecting on what happened in 2022. So we have to move forward to 2021. So open to beta in 2021. So maybe I can go for the next one. This one is the example how Coca-Cola that having advertisement. Okay, next. Okay. So this is how Coca-Cola that having the advertisement, which is, if you notice here, there is three types of Coca-Cola advertisement, which is Diet Coke, Original Taste, and also zero sugar. Okay, so if you notice, I'm not the best at taking breaks, but I will try. So which one is, this is when we're talking about diet, so people would think into this one. Okay, I'm not the best at taking breaks, but yeah, of course, like we are keep trying to making sure we achieve our target. Okay, and also Original Taste, what better time for us to be brave than now. Okay, and also zero sugar of no calories. Okay, they also have come up with this kind of branding. I will never take my friends for granted. So this is how the campaign by the Coca-Cola, which is they are understanding the society by doing the ethical marketing and sustainable marketing. Okay, maybe go for the next. Okay, so ethical marketing also will be discussing on how we can have the strategy. Next one, we have the strategies and also how the causes of the marketing is a sustainable initiative, and also of course when we are doing marketing, the marketing must be transparent, the communication must be transparent, okay, must be clear. Okay, and what we claim, we have to making sure the claim that what we claim is very clear. Okay, so for example, there is one example of, maybe you guys can go for next. Okay, the example of the Patagonia. Okay, if you notice next one. So this is how the Patagonia that having this kind of advertisement, don't buy this jacket. Okay, the reason why, okay, if you notice here, the campaign encourage customer to think twice about their purchases by promoting sustainability over the mileage of consumptions. Okay, so when you buy, you have to think first, only then you can purchase the products. So this is how the sustainable marketing for the some of the company are doing in their organizations. Okay. All right, so this is how to they have like come out with like reducing, repair, reuse, recycle, reimage. Okay, so we make useful gear that that lasts a long time, and you don't buy if you don't need. So I mean to say, if you don't need this kind of thing, you don't have to buy. So this is how they are doing their sustainable marketing, which is they are very transparent, they are very clear. Okay, so yeah, the next one, which is nowadays we are having in the conscious consumer era. The conscious consumer era, which is this kind of era, consumerism, they might be choose to make as consumer driving profound transformation in marketing and industries. Okay, so about over the past decade, okay, we witnessed the remarkable surge in the demand of ethical products and services, and so of course we are focusing on the sales of organic foods, okay, fair goods, and also eco-friendly products, and also have the sky treated. So this is how the conscious consumer era that happening in our society currently. Okay, yeah, maybe go for next. Okay, so the next one will be discussing what is conscious consumer. Okay, by understanding what they're not just buying, of course. Yeah. Next slide. Okay, but they're not just buying consumer, which is buying just what you need while keeping in the mind that impact of your purchase has the environment impact. Okay, so this is how you become the conscious consumers. Okay, and then you buy when you need, and also shop less frequently. Okay, and some more you have to understand of alternative. Maybe if there is alternative of the product, maybe you can think of. Okay, and also quality over the quantity. Okay, so of course, like it needs, like for example, it leads to be like increase in savings, efficient of spending, of course, lah. When you are spending of your when you're having the spending, okay, you know, so it puts like money in the pockets, you know, so and it unethical, and as companies against human rights and valuation child abuse. Okay, and number two, look into the alternative. Okay, it's repairable. If repairable, maybe you can like repair, reuse again of your products, and also like maybe you can have like shop like less frequently. Okay, which is you have to choose which product that you might be purchase. Okay, based on you when you are needed the product, maybe you can buy. If not, maybe you just forget it. Okay, so this is something that maybe is a new for every each of you guys here. Yeah, so yeah, 47% of consumer will pay more sustainable products. Okay, and also 75% of conscious of the consumer wants brand to reduce amount of the packaging of the use. So this is how the conscious of consumers. Okay, yeah, next one. So what is the factor that driving conscious consumerisms? Okay, of course there will be environmental factor or environmental concerns. Okay, which is in current age, climate change will is more important. So the awareness of us, every each of us, and consumers. Okay, many consumers are deeply concerned about the environment. Okay, they are choosing products with eco-friendly. Yeah, if you notice now, this is quite popular with Tesla, right? Okay, so packaging and low carbon footprints and also sustainable sourcings. Okay, and of course like social responsibility. Okay, people want to support company that take social responsibility seriously, and also brands that champion fair labor practices, diversity, community, and also engagement attract the conscious consumers. And also, of course, the most important when we are doing our campaign, of course, we have to refer to the health and also wellness. Okay, as a health consciousness grows, consumer are seeking products that align with their well-being goals, organic food here, and also non-toxic cosmetics, and also health-focused choices, and also part of this current trend on the consumerism. Okay, the next slide. Okay, we'll be discussing on the transparency and trust. Okay, which is the digital age currently. Currently, customer can do their own research. Okay, when you are claiming this product, you have to make sure to be clear, because consumer nowadays they can do a research on themselves. Okay, and also generational shift. Okay, which is younger generation like millennials and Gen Z. Okay, are particularly vocal about ethical concerns. Okay, and also that not just for consumer, they are activists that who demand ethical product and services. So this is like we have to think of when we are doing our businesses. Okay, when it's come to the products. Okay, the most important is an ethical products that we have to come out, right? Okay, so this is the consumer behavior. Okay, by understanding consumer behavior, okay, we have to understand on customer psychology itself. I mean, to say consumer behavior, we have to understand the culture, we have to understand the social, we have to get the information search. Okay, we have to do the alternative recognition, word of mouth, okay, recommendation, fund purchase decision. All this kind of thing we'll be discussing about the consumer behavior. And then yeah, we cannot predict consumer behavior. We cannot predict because consumer their behavior will be changed drastically. Okay, so of course, how to understand consumer behavior? By understanding the demographic of your consumers. Okay, so like before this, we are talking about word of mouth, right? Word of mouth. Every people is talking about word of mouth. Okay, nowadays people will talking about social proof. If you notice, okay, be on the traditional method, traditional way. Okay, when we might think the product is very nice, we will let our family know, right? Okay, like let our apa ni, we let our family know, which is this product is very good. Okay, maybe you can try this kind of products. Okay, but nowadays no more. Okay, we only take a picture, post in our status, IG or WhatsApps or any social media platform. Okay, to share, people will like, people will comment. So this is we call as social proof. No more word of mouth in marketing. Okay, but if you are doing the traditional marketing, maybe you can have the word of mouth. But in digitalization, we are using the social proof. Okay, so yeah, the next one will be discussing on the next slide will be discussing on which consumer you are. Okay, which is maybe you choose brands that reflect your value, or it's not just about the product, it's about the company stands for, maybe. Okay, or maybe you some sort of consumers which is thinking of like ethical products, which is make you feel like by contributing to a better world or in a small ways, maybe. Okay, or you are doing your research first on the brand to ensure that the product is the originality of the products. Okay, and then also genuinely committed to sustainability and ethics. So I don't know which consumer you are. Okay, you the one who make change. Okay, so as a consumer, of course, you have to think first by understanding each of product that you are purchasing. Okay, so yeah, not surprising that businesses are taking notice by focusing on the sustainability marketing. Okay, which is company are adapting to new consumer landscape by integrating sustainabilities, of course, ethics as well as transparency into their core strategies. And also some of brands are excelling the conscious consumer era. For example, Tesla. Nowadays, Tesla is quite popular, right? Okay, and then in reshaping automotive industry with commitment to electric vehicles and sustainable energy. So maybe on the next slide will be telling us about how the Tesla brand idea maps, okay, which is consumers and also the Tesla brand. Okay, so of course, every each of us know about Tesla. Tesla is an electrical car, which is an electric car which is designed for our future with high performance and also very stylish designs. Okay, so in Tesla, they're promising to their consumer, okay, will their brand promises, which is leading electric car, simple software to be easy to understand to their users, okay, and also performance and style. So they are come out with their packaging, logo, and slogan. That's why they are using the Tesla. I mean, they are using the logo of Tesla because they wanted to lead. They are wanted to become a leader in electric car. Okay, and then brand story will be build a movement that stands launch to create an intense desire. So that's why they are using advertising and media to do their brand story. Okay, they let us know what is the Tesla. Okay, how Tesla works. Okay, and also they are come out with the idea maps, come out with the innovations ideas. Okay, the ingenious designs like technology always investing in data. Okay, which is we are discussing about the product development. Okay, if you guys notice, of course, product development is very important in each of organizations. Okay, and then purchase moment, which is order online, no dealers, sales representative or negotiations. Okay, so how they are doing their sales and retail, and then also happy experience. Okay, when you are driving Tesla, you will be having great experience. Okay, which is a statement brand that creates desire and V, and also among your friends, culture, and also operation. So this is how Tesla discussing about their packagings. They are doing their marketing in terms of their packaging. They are doing their marketing in terms of advertising as well on media, and how they have the product development. Okay, and then also how they're doing their sales, like and retelling. They are very creative in terms like having, they are doing sellings and also retelling, and also how they understand the culture and also operation. So this is how the Tesla supporting this sustainable marketing. Okay. Okay. The next slide will be fun facts, which is, if you know, okay, in Norway they use Tesla as a taxi. Norway, they're using Tesla as a taxi. Okay, so the government support this kind of thing. Okay, they're using because they wanted to have sustainable energy and also sustainable marketing. So Norway already started using Tesla for past 2 years. Okay, past 2 years. So I mean to say they started on 2020. Okay, 2020. So they are trading from Nissan Leaf. So this is how the government of Norway, okay, they are supporting the sustainability. Okay, so yeah, we are moving to the next slide, which is when it's come to the sustainability and also ethical value in marketing. Of course, we have to understand of crafting ethical brands and identities. Okay, by creating an ethical brand identity, is not just like about marketing. It's about weaving values into the very fabrics of our brands. Of course, a brand like the name or term or sign or symbols or design or combination of them intended to identify the goods or services, okay, as one of the sellers or the group of sellers to differentiate from the competitors from another. Okay, so of course the brand will be you will be able to differentiate between your brand and another people brands, okay, which is your competitors. Okay, so the ultimate purpose when you have a brand, which is to create for consumers, okay, for the company as well, and also collaborators, and also value goes beyond the value by created the product and services that you are offering in your organization. So this is how you are crafting ethical brand identity. Okay, so the next slide will be discussing or will be showing you how the branding, which is brand identity and also brand. Okay, there is 3 different things that you have to be clear and you have to be understand in terms of the brandings, brand identity, as well as the brand. Okay, so branding will be what the way you want to be perceived. Meaning to say what you are going to promise towards your consumer, who is your target market, and also how are you going to use your positioning statement, okay, how you position your product in the market, and also of course you have to come up with the values, okay, and also at the end of the things you have to understand on the personality, which is we call them is the brand strategy. So when it's come about branding, it's easy to remember brand strategy. Okay, branding, it's brand strategy, which is how you want to be perceived. Okay, and then brand identity will be the brand present itself. I mean to say the brand expressions. Okay, how, let's say when customers look into your product, there will be having different kind of expressions. Of course, the brand identity. Okay, for example, your logo. Okay, and also your color, okay, and also your typography, and also messaging. So this is how the brand identity, the way your brand present itself, and also the brand will be consumer perception. How consumer perceive into your products. I mean to say the way consumer actually perceive you by the impressions, okay, and also decisions, expectation, and also emotion and feeling. So this is how we be able to understand on the branding, brand identity, and also brand itself. Okay, so when it's come to the branding, we'll be discussing about brand strategy. When it's come to the brand identity, we'll be discussing about brand expressions. And when it's come to the brand, we'll be discussing about consumer perceptions. Okay, so the next slide will be letting us know about the 7 basic pieces, okay, on the include in the brand team development, business analysis, and also audience. Okay, maybe you can go for the next slide. So this is how you are going to have your next slide, which is on how you are going to build up your strong strategy with 7 steps in branding using ethical marketing. Okay, the brand, which is the processes that you build, the 7 basic spaces, which is including, which is number 1, which is discovering or develop your brand purpose. Of course, when it comes to in the market, when you are targeting your audience in the market, of course you have to discover what is your product or brand purpose. Okay, know your competitors. Number 2, of course, when you are doing your business, okay, the most important, you have to know who is your competitors, okay, and then determine your primary and secondary target audience. Who is your target audience, primary and secondary, okay, who is the main target audience for your businesses, and also how are you going to build up your brand strategy is also very important to understand the brand strategy as well. And also, of course, we have to understand on developing a compelling brand narrative and story, okay, to let people know what is your brand, okay, and then create your brand identity. The most important, number 6, also you have to create your brand identity. Why? Because we wanted to make different from another products, okay, and also live your brand. So this is the 7th, how you are having strong brand, okay, when it comes to the ethical marketing. Okay, so the next slide will be discussing on the marketers, how they are creating forces in marketing models. Mean to say, before this, maybe some of you might be know about POPI, right? So nowadays, the POPIs, we are replacing from POPIs to forces, which is discussing about the consumers, cost, convenience, and also communication. Okay, so the forces in marketing, which is clarify, credibility, consistencies, and also competitiveness. Okay, so this is discussing about the in the next slide, will be extending you on the consumer, on the cost, on the convenience, and also the communication. Which is consumer, of course, each of us know, okay, consumer, they will focus on what the consumer needs, okay, rather than the product itself. So nowadays, in current marketing, we are focusing on what consumer needs, okay, what consumer needs, and also costing itself, which is what is the cost of customer, and rather than the price of the product itself, okay, we should look into how much money that consumer can pay for these products. So which is we from the product itself, we change to the cost, okay, and convenience, okay. Of course, nowadays most of the businesses are doing e-commerce business, okay. They could like selling their product via the social media platform, which is like TikToks live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, this kind of thing. So we call as convenience, the product easy to buy and is offered the best possible way. And then of course, communication, which is the communication channel established with the clients and also customer, voice to be heard. So this is how the from the 4Ps to the 4Cs. Okay, so the next slide will be discussing in deep, okay, on the model of 4Cs model marketing. Okay, how are we going to use them? Okay, so customer, the thief, you have to get maximum profitability out of your product or service. At the end of the day, when you are selling your product, the most important part that you have to look into is the profit. When we are running organization, profit is very important. None of the organization in the world are doing business without profit. I don't know if there is so I should impress with this kind of organization if they are running business without profit. Okay, so of course, when discussing about consumer, okay, the most important, you have to understand on the maximum profitability, okay, and also identify who is your target customer. Okay, and then the communication platform or integrated marketing communication, what type of communication platform that you are going to use. Okay, engaging with the potential, existing customer through meaningful communication to build your confidence that increases sales, which is like, for example, if your audience like millennials, So nowadays, of course, we know, and also Generation Z. If your target audience is millennials and also Generation Z, your approach of your communication platform will be social media. Okay, TikToks, of course. And then, of course, Malaysian and also Indonesian, well known with TikToks. Okay, so this is a communication platform that we can use. Okay, and costing. Okay, in businesses should be keep in mind that the price of product alone doesn't usually convince the consumer to purchase. Something to say, not only pricing, you also have to think of the quality of the products, the features product that you are going to sell. For example, Apple. Okay, every year they are producing a new features of their iPhone, and then people keep purchasing. So this is how they're thinking of, not about the price itself, but they are look into the quality of the products, and then what are the features that needed by current market or the demand by current market, which is camera. Camera must be clear. Okay, why? Because people like to take picture, people like to record our video. So this is how the costing look will help you when you are doing the 4-6 model of marketing. And also convenience, okay, business can consider offering their products via multiple outlets, or you can use the e-marketing. Okay, you can have your different kind of outlets, or you can use the e-coms. Okay, like Shopee, Lazada, or in Malaysia we have the Grabs. Okay, some of the country they're having different kind of Uber. Okay, so this is how you can do your business done. Okay, by understanding the forces in marketing. Okay, so the next slide will be discussing on the next slide. We'll be discussing on the how the brand itself, how are we going to position our brands, which is by having the attributes, benefit, and also beliefs and values. Okay, and also by understanding your brand name, by selecting your name. Okay, brand sponsorships and also brand development. Okay, and then by understanding this kind of selection, we'll be able to understand on how we are doing branding, digital branding, and also digital marketing. On the next slide, we'll be discussing in details about the branding. Maybe you can go for the next slide, which is discussing about the branding, digital branding, and also digital marketing. Okay, so what is the branding? Like we discussed earlier, which is the effort that create our brands. Okay, and then digital marketing branding effort to create a brand image through digital media. Okay, so this is the digital branding. Okay, and also digital marketing, the effort to put or to market your products using the digital media. Okay, so the focus will be developing the long-term business when you come out with the brandings. Okay, digital branding will focus on creating the bonds with your audience through digital platform. Okay, digital marketing focus on increasing sales and revenue. Okay, and then also, for example, the jargon of the products for the branding, and then digital branding will be creating the user-friendly website. Okay, you can have your website, corporate website, or you can have your landing page. Okay, and also digital marketing by promoting a product on the Facebook ads, or Instagrams, or in TikToks. Okay, so this is the discussing about this. Okay, and then the next slide will be discussing on the most valuable brands and also most reputable company. Okay, every each of us know about Apple. Every each of us know about Samsung, Microsoft, okay, Amazon, and Google. Okay, and also most of reputable company, of course, Amazon, Coca-Cola, Apple, okay, Kellogg's, and Johnson & Johnson. This is the most reputable company and also reputable brand. So to better understanding, okay, the brand itself and also the company itself. Okay, so this is the clear. Okay, the next slide will be discussing on the, I am having 7 more minutes to go. Okay, so I have to make it fast. Okay, so the next one will be discussing on the everything about brand that we have to know, the leader must know, which is brand story, brand positionings, and also strategy planning. Okay, business result. Of course, we have to understand on organization cultures, consumer experience itself, purchase moment, and also product innovations. When it's come to the brand story, of course, we have to understand on the media, paid media, okay, and also brand position. How are you be able to position our product in the market, okay? How we are doing our strategy planning, and also at the end of the day, we wanted to see the business results, and also our organization culture, and then also we have to create our customer experience, okay? How they are purchasing a product, and also of course the most important in marketing, you have to do your new product development, which is you are innovating your products, okay? Okay, so the next slide will be discussing on the marketing, engaging everyone, of course, in sustainability and ethical marketing. Marketing is not just corporate initiative, of course, the collaborative by the employees, customer, and also the community that we serve, okay, employees that bid on the organization, engaging them with sustainable effort can be first a sense of purpose, pride their work, spark innovations, and also create the brand ambassadors, okay? And then the next slide will be on customer, how the customer having life look. Next slide on your businesses, okay? By engaging the ethical marketing effort, by building your trust, the loyalty, and also how the value reflected your brands, okay? And also how to attract the consumers, okay, and also how to encourage the feedback and suggestion, okay, that will help to refine your ethical strategy, okay. So the most important in marketing, we also have to listen towards our customer feedback, and also to listen to their comment, okay, on our products. The next slide, okay, will be how we are engaging with the communities, okay, because the community can be build our positive relationships, okay, enhance our brand reputations, and also provide valuable insight about local and sustainability needs, okay. And then the next slide will be discussing about the effort for the stakeholders engagement, how we are having our stakeholders engagement, okay, which is by internal. Next slide will be discussing about the internal education, employee involvement, okay, customer feedback, of course, okay, community and partnerships, transparency, and also initiative and reporting, okay. So when it comes to the effective of stakeholders, we have to understand internal education itself, which is train and educate employee about our company. And employee involvement, we have to involve our employee in participating in sustainability marketing program or in initiatives, okay. Customer feedback, we have to listen to feedback from our customer by shaping our ethical practices. And also community partnership, we have to do partnership or collaboration with the community, by local organization, by engaging the community in project or align with our value, which is we are discussing about corporate social responsibility, okay, and also transparency, communicating openly with your customer. You have to make sure customer understand of your products, and also initiative or incentive, create incentive for employees and customer actively support your ethical incentive. And at the end of the day, you have to do reporting, okay. So the next slide, my last slide, okay. The next one will be how we are engaging with our ethical marketing and sustainable journey. It's not just a pin-or-break gesture, it's win-win for all. So we're gonna get that benefit from the company itself, the product itself, and also to create the value towards our community and also towards our consumer, okay, by involving employers, customer, communities in sustainability and also ethical marketing efforts, amplify the impact and ensure a collective commitment and also better future. And also, as we conclude this section, we remember that sustainability is a shared responsibility, not only organization, but employee, consumer, stakeholders, government agency, university itself, student, each of us have to working together to making sustainability and also to be responsible by making our nature health environment, okay. So yeah, this will be the last, which is you are the most important product, and then you will be able in the market brand it accordingly. So yeah, thank you so much for today. So before we end, is there any question from the participant? Dr. Nariman is here already. He's waiting his turn to present.
Amazing. We have the two questions from student. I'm ready right in the room chat. First question is from Mr. Nugroho. You see it?
Okay, so what role does data analytics and technology play in enabling company to integrate sustainability ethical consideration into the marketing strategy effectively? How can business navigate the ethical implication, data collection, and usage in this context? Okay, so when it's come to the analytical and also technological, okay, of course we have to, if you notice currently, most of us, like in organization, right, most of, if you notice, okay, we will getting like get irritated when it's come to the data. People will call us in terms of like getting our data, and then suddenly the people call us, right? Okay, so the role of network technology, of course, by understanding on the consumer insights, which is data analytics, will help the company to understand consumer behavior. Okay, when discussing about the role and also data analytics, okay, and also technology on the consumer insights, okay, we have to understand data analytics will help company to understand our consumer behavior by their preferences, by their value, so company will be able to identify what are the current trends, such as growing demand for our sustainable products or concern about ethical sourcings. Okay, and then when it's come to the of course, when it's come to the consumer side, we also have to look into our supply chains monitoring, right? Advance of technology will including like IoT, Internet of Things, and also blockchain can monitor the sustainable supply chains by ensuring ethical sourcing and also material for our labor standards. Okay, and also of course when it comes to the targeted marketing, okay, data, of course, data driven will be having hyper targeted campaign that resonate with the specific audience, and also will be company can be more effective to reach their customer by prioritize which one the sustainability and also ethics. And then what else? Transparency and also reporting, right? When it comes to the transparency and also reporting, okay, data analytics will be transparent, which is we are giving a reporting on sustainability and also corporate social responsibility, which is transparency can build our customer trust. Same goes to our shareholders and also regulator. Okay, so by navigating this kind of implication of data collection and also usage, of course, this comes with transparency with consumer, right? Okay, and also data minimizations. Okay, and also of course we have to understand on the we have to thinking of our stakeholders engagement. Okay, at the end of the day, we have to do engagement with our stakeholders. Hoping this answering to the question from Mr. Nagruho. Am I correct to pronounce your name?
Yeah.
So of course data analytic will be empower company to embed the technology and sustainability ethics and also marketing strategy. So we can bring about ethical challenges by balancing the benefit of data by respecting our customer privacy and also autonomy, and which is data privacy is very crucial currently, of course, when it comes to the marketing, right? So this is number one, hoping it's answering Mr. Nagruho. Okay, so the next question, how can businesses strike balance between short-term financial pressure that face and long-term sustainability goals that aim to achieve their marketing practices, and what are the potential consequences of failing to find this balance to the business landscape? From Mr. Faiz. All right. So yeah, by understanding this, correct me if I'm wrongly understanding your question. But yeah, based on my understanding, which is the striking balance between your short-term financial pressure and also long-term sustainability goal, right? Okay, which is this one is very complex that businesses can currently they're facing. Okay. By understanding the integrated reporting and also stakeholder engagement, of course, okay, and of course you have also to educate your stakeholders, okay, what is the potential, which is by understanding the reputation of company, building the long-term sustainability for short-term gains, gains by facing that significant reputation damage, which is nowadays we are using digitalization, which is in the digital era. Most of us that getting a negative news site can be spread rapidly and also tarnish the reputation of organization, can lose the trust of customer. So of course we have to understand on potential of the risk in our organization itself, okay, and also the most important also the current business landscape to get the information post freely, and also stakeholders are more informed about our finding, and so right balance between the short-term financial pressure and also long-term sustainability lah. So not just ethical right, but also critical sustainable business success. So this is based on what I am understand based on the question that asked by Mr. Faiz. Yeah. Any more question from the floor?
Last question from Mr. Anton Permadi.
Okay, sorry, I just noticed. I am Idu in business. I am in Idu business. Okay, when talking about forces of marketing, what your tips negotiating with the sales and marketing division prefer to reach their money target, neglecting the quality of education service. Okay, when it comes to the education services, right? Okay, of course we are facing a lot of things in education system. So by using the 4 Ps, before this we are understanding the 4 P rights, which is 4 Ps, which is understanding the product, price, promotion rights. So now we are evolving, okay, from the 4 Ps, we are using the 4 Cs, which is customer, cost, communication, also convenience. So this will take place the 4 Ps. Okay, so how we can use 4 Cs to address our negotiations type of, which is we have to making sure emphasizing on our customer value. Okay, which is customer value, which is the students will, of course, when you comes to the business education, the most important is education. The most important is your student. So student will like to have the quality, so high quality. So they wanted to receive high quality of education by offering the courses that recommended by institutions, or maybe you can have the brand ambassadors, which is this one, how you are having emphasizing on customer lifetime value. And then also maybe you can have like reputation, which is word of mouth. Okay, of course, education, my business in education, we still have to use traditional method. Okay, which is at the end of the day, the quality that provided by education, of course, the most important, right? Okay, so of course you have to look into a word of mouth reputation. You're providing a good quality. People will let another people know that this institution are having a good quality of the products or teachers or lecturers. Okay, so in education sector, word of mouth very paramount, which is happy, satisfied student will bring more student, right? So if your student satisfied with your lecturers, with your teachers, the student will bring their friends. Okay, so emphasizing on long-term benefit, which is focusing on student satisfactions. Okay, and then to less down on the negative feedbacks, because if you're getting a negative feedbacks, you will damage your reputations. So this one, when it comes to the customer, when it comes to the cost, of course, we have to understand on the future revenue streams and also total customer ownerships lah. Okay, so the price could be considered, okay, on your target audience. Who is your target audience? If you target audience lower income, you have to have some sort of promotions, like this lower income can have this kind of promotion, middle income can get this kind of promotion, higher income can get this kind of promotion. So of course, with the bundle programs, okay, we can consider on the costings. And then communication, maybe when it comes to the communication, which is the promotions, which is you have, like we discussed earlier, you have to be transparent. Okay, if your teachers, lecturers, educators are having this kind of qualification, they only can teach this kind of programs. Okay, don't blend it together, which is this academics from this kind of background, but can teach this kind of program. So there will be lacking of the quality. Okay, and then of course convenience. Nowadays, if you notice during the pandemic, right? Okay, most of us are switching from traditional to the technology. Okay, so of course, as education, of course, we have to evolve with technologies. Okay, quality education, of course, can be made accessible. It can be made accessible. You can use various of formats, online, offline, or hybrid or by ensuring the quality, okay, flexible delivering, okay, and also convenience to your student. And of course, at the end of the day, you have to get the feedbacks, okay? The feedbacks, you have to making sure the feedbacks continuously assessed by your admin or by your educators. So by having negotiation steps, of course, you have to understand on the how you align with your goals, okay, and also how you are having like highlight your long-term vision, and also you have to have the collaborative approach by your sales marketing team, brainstorming together to find solution. You have to come out with BMC. I don't know if you heard about business model canvas. Okay, you can have the BMC to brainstorm your team how to making sure how to have the negotiation skills. Okay, and also by addressing this kind of thing that I mentioned earlier, you can get a better approach and also negotiate with your to align with your quality of education, and also meeting your, of course lah, the most important, meeting your financial objectives. Okay, so this is that maybe hoping that answering Mr. Anton Permadi question.
Thank you so much for Thank you so much for answering. I think it's very clear answer from Professor. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for all participants. Thank you so much for Dr. Masri. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much to to this university for inviting me, okay, to share our thought, okay, and hoping that we can like collaborate in future. Okay, thank you so much to the STEKOM company. STEKOM University. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
All right,
And
okay.
we will go to the second speaker, second lecturer, Dr. Nariman Fouladi Nejad, as a PhD in mechanical engineering with the topic energy and sustainability. Yeah, for Dr. Nariman, the time is yours. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here. Let me share my slide first, then I'm not sure if I so can you see my slides?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So before I talk about the lecture today, I want to talk about myself a little bit. So I'm Nariman, and I want to talk about my background a little bit. I actually obtained my PhD degree in early 2017, and PhD is a tough journey, and mostly you do research, you write a lot, and then you think a lot, and when you graduate, you're totally a different person. So for me, after PhD, I was so eager to continue the research that I've done, to doing research, like in every aspects of my life. And actually, I was so eager to use the skills that I gained during my study to fix some of the problems in the world, or maybe in my country. So I was so enthusiastic and so eager. So I started to work with different companies, mostly as a research engineer. And I found out many people that they do business and maybe set the policy. They don't care about problems to be solved. They just want just revenue, and then they're looking for profit. And mostly I, as an engineer and PhD holder in engineering, always look at the problems and try to find solution for them. So we actually couldn't understand each other. So most of the time, the CEO or top managers or like directors, we discussed and we couldn't understand each other. So I eventually quit my job and joined STIE University in Malaysia. I came back to academic environment, and this time I try to just look at a bigger picture. Like, don't just focus on engineering. Like when you are an engineer, you just think, you just look at the stuff at the engineering point. For me, I was always like looking for problems and actually wanted to just fix, like find a solution and do research to find a solution. So I want to talk about energy and sustainability, like very general topic. And but this is my concern, since I'm from Middle East, and I think many conflicts, many problems nowadays in the world that we're facing because of energy sources. And really, this is my concern. So I'm gonna talk about energy and sustainability. But what is energy? So we, like as a scientist, we don't exactly know what is energy, but we know that scientists define energy as an ability to work. And we use different energy sources. Like in this picture, I try to show different energy sources we use, like, but most of them are from sun and solar. Some of them like fossil fuels, they're like we just started out of the earth, and also nuclear fuels. And we have different forms of energy that we just convert energy to each other, and then we do our things. So we have chemical energy, which we use it to burn the fossil fuels, and thermal energy or heat, mechanical work, or electricity that we usually use to transfer energy. But why energy is so important in our life? The most of us, like nowadays, the quality of life is the main reason for just using energy. Like, just imagine, you don't, in this hot weather, you don't use any aircon. So that's something not pleasant for a human being. So the energy gives us the quality of life. And economic growth, like many countries get access to much like energy sources. That's why they can just grow their economy. And also technology advancement during the recent years, like we have many advances because of energy and because of the energy sources that we have. And also transportation, national security. The countries that get access to much energy, they have like national security. So that's the importance of energy. That's why there are so many conflicts because of energy, because you get more sources of energy, you get like more security. Transportation, for the people that want to go anywhere, or for the products that we want to just transport it, like we use energy. That's like so important. Or agriculture, the food that we eat, and it depends on energy nowadays, because most of the industrial food industry mostly depend on energy. And education and research, and also space exploration. Because of these fossil fuel and these extensive energy resources, we can actually go to the space. So that's why energy is so important. But there is one question here that does every country in the world have equal access to energy sources? Maybe many conflict, many problem in the world is just referred to this question. So here, just a simple figure. I try to just include different countries, like rich countries, poor countries, like the developed countries and developing countries. Like if you compare these different countries and the energy that used per person, like in this figure, the energy used per capita or per person, like a single guy in Niger already consume like 410 kilowatt hour energy in a year. But that same person in the UAE actually consume like more than 30 times more energy. Comparing to that, it's more than 130,000 kilowatt hour. So the energy resources doesn't use like equally in the world. Some countries they use like more energy. But does poverty in the world have any connection to the availability of energy? So we just suffer, like when we see other people that are poor and they don't have like anything to eat, or they are in poverty, we really suffer. So, but does it have anything to do with the energy? So this picture shows the average annual income in different parts of the world, like the part that colored in green, they actually got higher annual income, and the people with red, the countries with red color, they actually they have like less annual income. So I try to compare different countries in this figure. Now, you see, this is on dollar, the annual income, the average annual income in different countries. See, the first country is Norway, but Niger is a poor country, only $610 per year, the average annual income. And like in Indonesia is less than 5,000, and Malaysia is around 12,000. But in US is 76. If we come back to the same to the graph that I show you, the first three countries at the top that use the most energy, like use more energy, here also at the top. So we can say somehow that you get access to more energy, you can get more money. Like, or even if you live in a country to get access to more energy and use more energy, you can get like more money. And so the countries that don't have access to energy, they're gonna be poor. But some say, okay, maybe annual income in Malaysia is like not that high, but the price of products is quite low. So the government only subsidized. But this figure shows the GDP per capita that already adjusted by purchasing power parity by the total population. So if we even consider the price of products, still the first three countries, they are just that access to more energy sources, they got better kind of life and higher kind of quality of life. So that's a sad story. So, but is there any solution to that? So I also try to show the access to electricity for different countries. Again, like Niger is a poor country. Only less than 20% in Niger get access to electricity, even though in most of the country is more than 90%, like in all the rest of the country is more than 95% have access to electricity. But one of the reasons for Niger to be poor is they don't have access to electricity. They even don't have electricity. But what are the sources of energy we use? First, we go to the energy that we use. We have different sources of energy. And in this figure, the source of primary energy in 2002 has shown like the China, because the population is a lot, and then they actually the production, or like their economy is quite, they use more of the energy. But most of the country in this figure, other than Norway, they use mostly coal, oil, and gas. So what are these? These are fossil fuels. Norway, on the other hand, use hydropower. Most of the energy they use is from hydropower. But most of the countries, they just use gas, oil, and coal. So maybe that's one of the reasons that we have many conflict there in the area that got fossil fuel. There is not enough fossil fuel in the world, and that's why people just fight for energy sources. So this shows the global primary energy consumption by source. Also here in the world, like most of the energy they use is from coal, oil, and natural gas. And even the electricity production, we use the electricity production is from fossil fuel. Most of the energy, the electricity that produce is from fossil fuel. So this figure also shows the share of electricity production by source. Like the coal is mostly more than 35% of the electricity in the world, like produced from coal. And after that is gas, natural gas. So even for our electricity, we mostly use fossil fuel. This figure also shows the electricity consumption from fossil fuel and nuclear and renewable. Other than Denmark and Norway that use renewable energy, other countries mostly use fossil fuel. So this figure shows the share of energy from fossil fuel in 2021. Most of the countries, they actually use fossil fuels for their primary energy. So maybe that's one of the problems facing, that there is not enough fossil fuel in the world, and the countries with bigger economy, with like better policy, with like better army, they just get the bigger share, and they have better quality of life. And the other countries that don't have access to that kind of fossil fuel, they don't have much money, and most of the African country, they are like poor because of the low kind of access to energy resources. But what is fossil fuel? I try to just explain briefly about fossil fuel. Fossil fuel actually formed by natural process. It includes coal, oil, and natural gas. This is like from organic materials over the course of million years. So it takes like million years to actually the fossil fuel form. That's why they are not renewable. They're non-renewable. So this is one of the reasons that we have like economic development, and at the same time, using fossil fuel, we eventually harm the environment. But coal is one fossil fuel. Mostly it used for electricity. It used to use for transportation in train, but nowadays mostly used in furnace or steel factory or in producing electricity. So it's a combustible black or brownish black rock. It's composed mostly carbon and hydrocarbon, and it's stored, like it produced by the plants that lived hundreds of millions years ago, and for millions of years they actually, the layer of dead plants at the swamp, by the time they just trap, and these by the time become like coal. And petroleum that we everyday, or crude oil, that they also come from the well, and the naturally occurring flammable liquid consists of a complex mixture of hydrocarbon of various molecules and waste and other organic compounds. So this is like the originate of like the gasoline that we use, the diesel that we use, and natural gas. Natural gas consists of primary methane. It's mostly methane, and then they extract out of like the well, then that other kind of fossil fuel can extract. So when since we use natural gas instead of coal, the environmental issues decrease, but still there are fossil fuels and they are not good for the environment. But the question, there is another question: what raised concern about the sustainability of current energy usage practices? So why do we need, other than poverty, other than like the inequality of just money that just we extract out of like the economy, the inequality in economy, what are the reasons that we should look at sustainability? So actually the interaction of energy system with environment shown in this picture. So we as a human we use the natural resources, and then we explore for energy resources. We produce different kind of fuels, and we convert different kind of energy, and we utilize them to have like useful goods, and then to have like better services. In this process, we actually produce solid, liquid, or gases in fluid, like different kind of emission, different kind of noise and sound. We actually release some waste heat, and we actually this process got many radiation and different interaction with the environment. But these environmental issues are some problems that we're facing by using fossil fuel. So we actually we actually, by using more fossil fuel, we actually change in the physical state of our environment, and then we actually have climate change, and then about chlorofluorocarbons and ozone layer that affected by this, and then we have a hole in ozone layer, and this is end up being bad for our health. And then we have different emissions from combustion process. The climate change actually, the reason for climate change is that many emissions in the atmosphere just trap the heat in the atmosphere, and then we have like increase in the heat, and we have global warming. So as you can see in this figure, like the amount of income solar radiation that come, some of it actually reflected by clouds, and some reflected by surface, but some observed by atmosphere. And then these atmosphere include the emitted carbon dioxide or different kind of emissions that actually trap. And these are we call greenhouse gases that trap the heat. And then at the end of the day, like we have like warmer weather, like that's the climate change. And these we actually we just destroy the balance, and these cause the increase in the temperature. So you can see in this figure the global average temperature since 1860 to 2020 increased like from minus 0.6 to around 1 degree Celsius. So we have warmer temperature. So the earth wants to like come back to the balance. So that's why we have like different kind of floods and different kind of things that end up just bad for our health. But one of the reasons that we have like temperature trapping in the atmosphere is the carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide extract out of like emitted from fossil fuels can just be the reason that the heat, we have like heat trapping, and that's make the global, they make the earth hotter, and then we facing so many problems. So these are the human caused activities that directly and indirectly affect the environment. So for like, one of them is deforestation that we see a lot in Southeast Asia or in Amazon in South America, and then oil drilling and different use of fossil fuel, the waste that we add to the environment, the transportation and pollution and air conditioning for sure. So these are the different activity that we do, and then end up changing the climate, and just so many animals, they suffer, and then we have distinction, even different kind of industry that we do, the agriculture, and we use a lot of energy for many industry, and then we use like the meat industry and stuff like this. These are all have effect, the bad kind of impact on environment. So, but what have we done to address environmental issues? Like I already mentioned about all these problems with environment. Did we do anything for that? Like, so there was some kind of regulations for regulated pollutants, like nitrogen oxides, particulate matter or soot, or carbon monoxide, and different hydrocarbons. There were some regulations for transportation system, and for some emissions we don't have any regulation, like carbon dioxide or water vapor. Water vapor maybe is what we say it's water, but this one also another reason for heat trapping and green in having global warming. So what we actually done, like this is the regulated emissions. The reason for regulated emissions is that it's not good for the human health. That like 60, like in the 60s and 70s, we have like so many cities that they were so polluted, and then there were so many health problems. So the government in different countries like US and Europe, they started to set some regulation because it was not good for human health. But out of this, like this picture is for 1998, and you see that, for example, in carbon monoxide, the main reason for emission of carbon monoxide is transportation. It's more than 78% of carbon monoxide is from transportation. So what government did, they just for the transport sector, they just set some kind of regulations and rules, and these rules end up having like the advancement in car industry. So the most important technological development of 20th century that greatly affected the environment maybe is a car industry. And the reason is that the government has started to do something about these problems. So they set some kind of rules. And then the companies, different car factories, they started to change. They started to just use new technologies to have better kind of cars with less emissions. So this is actually the emission standard of Euro. Everybody knows about this. So since 1993, they set some regulations, and then by the end of 2021, the regulation end up having these results. So even though in this figure we show that the energy consumption increased during these years, the population increased, the vehicle mileage traveled increased, but the emissions that we just released to the air in these regulated pollutants actually decreased. So it worked, like when there were some kind of regulations, it actually worked, and these regulated pollutants decrease. And this is the result. Before that, the transportation sector was like 78%. Now, for the carbon monoxide. This is carbon monoxide. Now it's like 35%. Or for nitrogen oxides, the transportation sector is only 4%, comparing to this number that was 53%. So, so we can do, like, we can use new technology to decrease the emissions. So, but did these regulations address all the problems? So you see in this figure, there's still the countries, the leading countries, that they produce a lot of carbon dioxide. And this is one of the main reasons for greenhouse gases and global warming. And still, primary energy consumption mostly is from oil, coal, and even for electricity, we still use this. But like for transportation, maybe it worked, but for different sectors, we haven't had any kind of advance and any kind of solution. But one of the alternatives is using renewable energy. Renewable energy like solar, wind, hydropower, they are really practical. Many of them are like carbon dioxide zero. They're like carbon dioxide neutral. So they don't actually produce any carbon dioxide. But why do we still prefer using fossil fuels over renewable fuels? It's so weird. Like we have like the technology, we have the solution. So for me as an engineer, I say, oh, why do we still using fossil fuel? Like there are so many new technologies now. If you just like see the social media and then just Google about it, there are so many new technologies that can handle most of the energy that we use. One of the reasons is the energy density. The energy density of fossil fuels is awesome comparing to other kind of fuels. Like you see in this, like diesel, gasoline, the volume of density is like 4 times more than 4 times than other kind of fuel that like wood that we can produce it, or biomass is a lot better than that. That's one of the reasons, but that's not all. So let's learn about sustainability. So actually, we're facing many problems. Like we know that 5% of people in the world actually use 25% of energy, and the efficiency of energy production increase, and then the consumption is a lot. So we need sustainability. But what is sustainability? Sustainability is the ability of humanity to ensure that it meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. It's a preservation of productive capacity for the foreseeable future, and this is the this different angle of different issues in sustainability. So it involves the responsible and efficient use of energy resources to ensure that energy production and consumption are environmentally friendly, economically viable, and socially equitable. So it's not all about the environment and energy. It's involved economy, it's involved social issues, and also environment. That's why there should be balance between these two when we want to have a sustainable kind of system and sustainable energy. So let's say if we just care about economy, and then we end up having like pollution a lot. And if we just think about economy and environment, maybe we end up having poverty. So there should be a like trade-off or synergies between these three dimensions of sustainability. And that's a challenge. That's how we should face it. Like we should consider environment, we should consider social issues. Like, for example, if you just give up with the technology that just force people to stop using their car, so that's not going to work for sustainable kind of environment. Like if you just care about the environment and then you don't have any development in economy, nobody follow that. So that's the challenge. So the challenge is if we have to change our energy technology over a relatively short period of time, where are the best alternatives? So let's say we use renewable energy. Which kind of renewable energy? Like let's say in Malaysia, should we just like cut the trees and just have like solar farm, or can we use biomass or wind energy? So the countries like Denmark and Norway, they already found the best renewable energy. But for some countries, it's like challenging. What kind of renewable energy we want to use? How should we invest in developing better alternatives? So how can we invest to at the same time? Because the leading economy in the world, they don't want to just fall back. They want to be in. They want to improve more. So that's why they don't want to just move to different kind of energy. And what are the drivers that will encourage timely development and market penetration of these technologies? And do we also have to change the behavior, like the social issue? Do we have changed our lifestyle? How can we change? So the consequence of inaction, first of all, climate change. This is like our survival. We're gonna maybe we're gonna extinct like dinosaurs because of this climate change, because the Earth's gonna balance itself. So if we don't change the energy use, it's gonna be consequences. The climate change end up like having more flaws and more problems, and then poverty, like really some people, because of this, because the fossil fuel is limited, it's not infinite, it's finite, so like everybody cannot use it, so we're gonna have poverty. So that's the consequences. But before that, we should understand about the difference between sustainable and renewable resources. Sustainable resources are those that can be utilized at will with no worries about depleting the supply or having to cultivate the resources for future harvesting. But renewable resources are any type of resources that can be regenerated at a rate that is at least equal to the speed with which humanity can consume. So at the same amount that we regenerate, we consume. So that's renewable resources. But sustainability, we should not worry about depleting. So it's gonna be for future generation as well. So I try to show the leading economy in the world in this figure. So this is a sad fact that most of the country that they just focus on economy and being a leader, like best in economy, they end up like having using less renewable energy. That's why sometimes we care about the economy more. So most of them are less than 20% of their energy they use renewable energy. But we already have the technology. How can we switch from these fossil fuel to renewable energy using the concept of sustainability? This is the main question. Like, we already have the technology. We already know that this fossil fuel is gonna kill us, like because of environmental issues, and but how can we switch, like, and then we at the same time we have economical like develop like improvement as well. So I try to just explain the mathematical representation of sustainability, just because it's engineering. So let's bring some math. So if we just could measure objectively and describe quantitatively the sustainability, we should consider all these matter. Like we should consider the people. So so let's say the sustainability is related to the people, the population. Or maybe I can show it here. This is population. And also it related to the economy, GDP per population. And also related to the energy that we use, the technology, the resources consumption, or environmental degradation. But we didn't consider carbon dioxide here. So we can just the amount of carbon dioxide emitted per, we can also consider that. So that one also related to our problem, because we should consider the environmental issues. But the carbon dioxide that sequestered also can be considered. So maybe we just plant some trees, we just absorb some of the carbon dioxide, and then we should consider that. So at the end of the, we have such things. So we consider population, we consider economy, GDP, we consider energy that we consume for environment and the technology, and then we also consider the particular impact related to the energy, we name it this, and then this got weight. So some kind of process that we do is more important, some of them is less. And then the time also matters. So we cannot suddenly change to renewable energy. So it depends on the time, particular time, and the total number of impact, like number of impact. So let's say we have like different kind of impact that use sustainability. But this is like, this is not so simple, because these are all connected to each other. So when you change one of them, the other one change. For example, living standard can cause birth rate to decline. So we just, in some countries, the living standards are higher, they have less kids. Or these factors, they're all connected to each other. And then, for example, if you want, as an example, like if you use biomass, for example, the biomass is a renewable energy. You want to use it instead of fossil fuel. So this is the equation. For example, the P is the rate of production of energy for particular time. Like it can be like per thermal energy or electricity. And the Q is the quality of biomass that we use. And then T is the time. So let's say we have like some time to just produce, and this is the energy that we consume. This is like the energy, the rate of human consumption energy, that now we use fossil fuels. These are the production or regeneration of renewable energy, biomass. So this is an example. So we want to use biomass instead of fossil fuel. So here, if we use this, there are so many factors here also. There are so many factors that we can use, like the rate of production of dry biomass, the total growing area available. Like in some countries, there is not enough land, there is not enough water to just produce biomass. And then the unit energy content, like that's the main reason that we use fossil fuel. The energy content, the energy density of biomass is quite lower than the energy density of fossil fuel. So that's why there are so many factors, so many data involved, so many variables involved. That's why, like some countries, they cannot manage to do that. They cannot, because at the same time, and then in the sustainability, they just consider economy more, and then they don't care, they less care about this, and then the social, the quality of life also important. Then they end up having better economy, but they gonna just have so many environmental issues and problems. So so there are a lot of variables. An economy is important. Social kind of issues also important. Like you cannot say to a person that from now on you don't use fossil fuel, you use just, they cannot, they don't follow. So that's why maybe the solution is artificial intelligence. Why? Because there are so many calculations, there are so many computations involved, and artificial intelligence nowadays using energy efficiency, it using renewable energy, it using climate modeling, it using natural resource management, environmental monitoring, and energy resources. So AI can actually optimize energy consumption in different kind of industry, but that can be a solution because AI improve the efficiency and reliability of renewable energy sources like solar and wind. So, but this is like I just make the end just open to just for you to just think about it. Like maybe this is the solution. This is how we should proceed. Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Any question?
Yeah, for our participant, if you want to ask question, you can raise your hand or you can write in the room chat. Okay, for the first question, we have the question from Mr. Faiz. I already read in the room chat. Do you receive it, sir? We have 3 questions from audience.
Yeah. All right.
For first question, what are the sorry. For first question, what are the ethical and moral dilemma associated with the global transition to sustainable energy sources, considering issues such as energy access disparity, the economic impact on fossil fuel dependent regions, and the potential consequence for vulnerable population in the face of climate change mitigation effort? This question from Mr. Faiz.
Where can I see the question?
I will write again, just a moment. Here.
Okay. What are the ethical and moral dilemma associated with the global transition to sustainable energy resources, considering issues such as energy access disparities and the economic impacts on fossil fuel dependent regions? So actually the ethical, when we talk about the ethical reason, some companies actually consider that, but the fact is some of the data they just do that, they just represent is not there. They're just making data. Most of them, they don't want to fix the problem. But the ethical, yeah, because of the environment, we should try our best to just harm the environment less. So that's the main dilemma. That's the trade-off. But mostly the companies, they just like they follow the regulation, and then the regulation they mostly care about economy. So the dilemma should this kind of ethical kind of things they should come from the government and policy. But since they don't they don't want to just have some crisis in the economy, they don't follow that. So a reality we don't have, like maybe we have in our mind we have, but in reality the most of the companies they just follow the regulations. And for most of them, there is no much strict regulations.
Okay, thank you for answering. And the second question from Mr. Anton Permadi.
Let me, Mr. Anton Permadi. In the Indonesia capital was listed as a the world's most polluted city on the planet. As an educator, what's your tips in making the young generation be more aware and friendlier to the Mother Earth, putting aside the ignorance of the Indonesian government about environmental students to use public transportation, which is always on time, cheaper, and friendlier to the Earth seems to be. Yeah. So that's the start. Like when we just first of all, we should aware of this problem. So most of us, we just check in the media, but like for me, when I was like in university, it was not like some kind of value to just use public transportation. But nowadays we can just build the culture. So first of all, we can just talk about it, and then that's a social matter. That's we talk about it. We just do some kind of event, and then we I teach renewable energy, and I just give some kind of projects to just for the students to be involved in this. So and then it's so important that we just connected this to their own like we have so many international students, so we just connect this to their hometown, because we always love our hometown, and then we care about that, and then we want to our hometown to be good. And then when we just connect these issues to just our cities, our hometown, and then we ask the students for solution, they're like as a student in engineer, they looking like for the problem, and they want to find the answer. And that's how we can just use education. Mostly the activities, they should be involved. So is there any other question? Yeah. So how can we design and implement an integrated energy infrastructure that not only optimize renewable energy generation, but also efficiently manage energy storage, distribution, and consumption to meet the demands of a growing global population while minimizing environmental impact? Okay, that's the thing. That's there should be a balance. Like we cannot have all the things. Like sometimes we should like let's say the art behind it is the balance between different, like when you want to just consider environmental impact, and then at the same time you want to have some kind of optimized renewable energy, and then you also should consider the money that you want to spend. So this is kind of this is the story. So my answer is we should use high computational kind of algorithm, and the best way is machine learning or AI. That's why, because there are so many variables that they're connected to each other. Then if you want a balance, if you want a trade-off between these different factors, there should be a prediction. There should be a AI that predict that what happens if we just care about environment more, and what happens if we just want to manage energy storage, or so that's the trade-off. And then as an engineer, we got so many calculation. So and then also social matters. So when we use AI, we have like one kind of intelligence that others then use us, and then we can have like some kind of answer. But that would be, that cannot be just perfect, because there are like, nothing is constant, like we can have different kind of answer for that.
Okay, thank you for answering. I think it's very clear answer from Professor Ha. Okay, before I close this event, we will go to the next session. For all participants, please open your camera. We will take a picture on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Thank you for your keen cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lecture today. We would like to say thanks Dr. Nariman Fouladi Nejad for the wonderful information. This is correct for my spelling name?
Yes, thank you.
For the wonderful information, and I hope this information will be beneficial for our participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice day.
Have
Bye-bye.
a nice day. Goodbye.